we're going to take a look at finding different ways of measuring central tendency beyond just mean, median, and mode. And again, one of the things that you want to be able to do is organize a list of data points. Okay, and so what we have here, what we have, here is just a whole big list of numbers. And each one of these individual numbers is a data point. And whenever you're given a big list of data points like this, one of the first things that you should do, or actually the first thing that you should do, is put these data points in order, from the smallest to the greatest. So in this particular instance, that's already been done for you. It may not necessarily be done for you on the exam, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So you always want to put these numbers in order from the smallest number to the greatest number. Okay, and so if you go through this data set, you'll be able to answer a number of questions that go along with it. So first off, you want to figure out, well, what's the least number or the smallest number? And the smallest numbers should be right there. That 25 is the smallest number in the data set. So I'm going to put 25 because that's the smallest number. The greatest number, similarly, is at the opposite end. Okay, and the opposite, or the biggest number, therefore, is 92. Then what we want to do is we also want to determine what is the median for the entire data set. And again, the median, which is also known as Q2, the median is that middle number of all of them. So how many numbers do I have in this data set? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 numbers in the data set. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly, I know that 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, so it's going to be just 1 to the right of 5.5, so it's going to be my sixth number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here, that 67 is my middle number. That means I should have the same number of data points to the left and to the right of that 67. So if I go to the right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 data points. And if I go to the left, I have 5 data points. And if I go to the right, I also have 5 data points. So therefore, I've just confirmed that 67 is my median, my Q2. So 67 is my Q2. Now, Q1 is the median of the lower half. So if I look at the lower half right here, this is the lower half of my data. Okay, and so what is the median of Q of this lower piece? And so think of this as a separate data set all to itself, going from 25, 35, 48, 52 to 59. So what is the median number, the middle number there? Well, the middle number is actually right here, 48. Okay, and it splits that data set in two. There's two numbers to the left of it and 2 numbers to the right of it. Okay, so my middle of my lower half, or my Q1, is going to be 48. Q3 is the median of the upper half. So again, I've got 5 data points on the upper half, and the middle one, so here's my upper half, there's 5 data points there, and the middle number in the upper half is right here, it's 76. Okay, I've got 2 numbers to the left of 76 and 2 numbers to the right of 76. So because it is properly placed in the middle there, my Q3 is going to be 76. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to figure out what's my interquartile range. Interquartile range is the distance, or the difference, between your Q3 number and your Q1 number. So in this particular instance, my Q3 number is 76, and I want to subtract my Q1 number, which is 48. And so my interquartile range is simply 76 minus 48, which is 28. That means there's 28 units between my Q3 number and my Q1 number. Okay. The last thing that we're going to take a look at is making a box and whisker plot. And there's 5 pieces of data that we need. We need to know the low number, we need to know the high number, and we need the three medians in the middle. We need to know Q1, we need to know Q2, and we also need to know Q3. Okay, so we've got a high, a low, Q1, Q2, Q3. So if we're going to make our box and whisker plot, I want to plot all of those points. Okay, so I know that my lowest number is 25. So on this diagram, to make my box and whisker, I'm going to put a dot at approximately 25. So here's my 25. I know that my highest number is 92. So I'm going to put a dot at about 92. Okay. I also need to then plot my Q1, Q2, and Q3. So my Q2 is 67. So 67 is about here. My Q1 is 48, and that's about here. And my Q3, 76, is about here. Okay, so here I've got my low, my Q1, my Q2, and my Q3. So I've got my 5 points on this plot, box and whisker plot. Now to finish off the plot, I just need to actually make a box and complete the box. So I'm just drawing a line between each of those Q1, Q2, Q3, a vertical line, and I'm putting it together. And then in order to complete it, I need to create the whiskers. So I need to join my Q3 with my highest value and my Q1 with the lowest value. So what I've done basically, this is my box and whisker plot. So what I have been able to accomplish here is I have divided my data set into 4 parts. I have a low part, medium, middle, so I'll have a low middle, a middle high, and a high. Okay, so now I've created my box and whisker plot. So being able to do what we've just covered here is going to be a good chunk of your exam as a part of this. I think it's like 12 marks for this particular section of the exam. And so this is an important concept to be able to remember and apply.